Well, it's South Texas. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
South Texas, puro South Texas acá. Puro dirty South, Laredo, Texas.
Yeah. And I've been meaning to ask you, you were born in Laredo and you raised in Laredo, right?
Yes, well, if I'm going to be honest with you, I was born about, I want to say about 6 miles. Sometime back in the day, of course, the city limits have changed. Or bueno, primero, before anything, big hello to anybody out there listening. En donde sea que estén escuchando, un saludo muy cordial, and thank you for your time. And, pues, como digo, I was born about 5-6 miles out of Laredo. It was a ranchito called Las Palmas.
Órale.
And my dad was a ranchero there. He used to work in the, he was a farmer. Le ayudaba ahí a un ranchero.
Mm-hmm.
So my family lived there in the ranch. And I was born in Las Palmas Ranch, dude.
Is that like north or south? I mean, north or west? It can't be south, right?
Actually, there's a little town now there. It's called Rio Bravo.
But it's in the United States, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. It's right on the river. But back then, when I was born there, it was a ranch. It was called Las Palmas Ranch.
Uh-huh.
But now, after all these years, there's a little town called Rio Bravo there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I was born. And then, of course, once I was born, and they did everything here in Laredo for me, so I'm technically from Laredo. So
yeah,
that's the whole thing. But I was kind of in the outskirts of Laredo back in the day. But I was born, raised, and I lived here all my life. Went to school here and did all the normal stuff you would do. I mean, I had a pretty normal childhood.
Yeah.
Because I was into music at a very early age. Because my family doesn't come from a musical background, so I was never inclined to do it. Even though I knew I loved it and I had a passion for it, I just didn't know how to go about it. So I never really did.
Mm-hmm.
So I led a really normal life, man, all the way through high school. And I graduated I went to next to high school, like in Laredo.
Yeah.
And then I graduated from there. And then I went to the junior college for a couple of years. And
when you were going to school, what kind of student were you, man? Were you pretty, were you a kind of student that was, out there, or you were a little more, closed in a little bit, or you, what were you doing? What were your likes, when you were in school?
You know what? I was really normal in school. And actually, I was kind of shy, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm a short guy, so you can only imagine how short I was in elementary.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I come from migrant parents. We used to be migrants, man. My family,
Mm-hmm.
we used to be migrants for many years. So I went to the migrant school, which in that time were kind of rough, man.
Yeah, they pick on you. Would they pick on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they really didn't, and I think I got away with it because I was kind of nice to everybody, and I didn't really mess with anybody,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a good student too. So I had the teachers always would back me up, and then once I got out of elementary, then I started going to the normal junior high. Because the thing is, we used to go to the migrant schools because I don't know if you remember this, or even it probably still happens now. Back in the day, if you were a migrant, around April, they would take you out of school to go work, and so you would the school year wouldn't be over,
Mm-hmm.
and we wouldn't even start the school year either because we would still be working out. We used to go to Colorado and Wyoming and Idaho, Montana.
Yeah.
So I would start school. I would leave school here, and I would finish school wherever whether it be Colorado or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I would start school in Idaho, and then I would come back to Texas and continue here. So. It was, what? It was interesting. It was a rough life. We sent beets and we did the potatoes up in Idaho. My family did. I'm the youngest of 8. So, in all honesty, I mean, I was probably the one that worked the least in the fields because I was so young.
Are you the baby of the house?
I'm the baby, man.
Yeah.
Viejón de la fregada, pero baby.
Eres el bebito. Oye, Dad, but, it wasn't easy and it was kind of hard. But, man, those days were so different, I mean, it was like family and just, and experience. It was an experience that not many people were able to experience, and
that's what I was... That's what I was gonna tell you, man. That it was a really hard life, and like I said, I'm not even gonna lie and say I was in the field since I was 5. No, when you get around 10, 11, that's when they would start putting you to work.
Mm-hmm.
I know child labor is like, oh, they're not going to be happy to hear that.
Ey,
But,
y te quitaban todo el cheque, Dad.
Sí, todo el cheque. Oye, so no, the thing is, like I said, since I was the youngest, I was the one that got to work the least because I came of age and then we stopped doing it.
Yeah.
But it was really cool in the sense that, man, I experienced so much. I got to see so much travel. You know, like we would start up in Colorado, then we head up into Wyoming and Montana, go through Yellowstone Park. I mean, it was an adventure every time we travel. Y pues toda la familia juntos, and we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner together every day.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was hard work, but it was really. And I know it sounds like I'm making it up, but it really was a good life, man. I really had a good childhood, even though that it was a rough childhood. We didn't have much, man. We were poor, but we didn't know that, and we had a blast.